Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and we're live for Manchester United's trip to Tottenham. A massive game. I hope you're all very excited about it. Certainly am myself, and hopefully we're going to get 3 points today. A bit of debate around the team. Ken says it's looking all right. Look, you know me, I try not to, be too dismissive of a team before we've played a game of football. Many a time I've seen the chat, and I've done it myself, where you start predicting based on a result, and it doesn't actually happen. So I think that negativity will not be worthwhile in this instance. I think we may as well focus on that team straight away and say that there are 3 changes. Delo out of the team, yabba dabba do. I think that's a real positive. Well done to Amorim. Yoro and Sesko out of the team, and Ahmad moved out of position is actually 4 changes. And this is what some people don't subtly know about Amorim, is that he does make changes that make changes. If De Ligt starts, but like if De Ligt, well, he's made 5 changes actually. I mean, that's actually my example in visualization. He's actually made 5 changes to that team because De Ligt's moved, Maguire's come in, so that's 2 changes in the back 3 because De Ligt starts, but he's not the centre back. Maguire is, so that's 2 changes there. Mazraoui for Ahmad is 3 changes. Dorgu for Delo is 4 changes. And then Ahmad for, Cunha or Mbeumo is 5 changes. And then Cunha for Sesko is 6 changes. So he's actually made 6 changes to his team. People will think it's 3, but this is the hidden thing with Amorim that happens quite a lot, where he moves people around in his team. So De Ligt's moved position. Ahmad's moved position. Cunha has moved position. So he has made a lot of changes. I suppose that's the first place to start. Look, I think I'm not surprised. When I did the preview on Thursday, and we do get info, and I said to you at the time, there's a rumour from credible people that Sesko's dropped for this game. And I mentioned it in the preview, but I didn't say, look, it's definitely going to happen, but it's a rumour going around, and they're credible people. The group I'm in, it's got credible people in it. So it's happened. So I'm not surprised. I don't think Mason Mount's fit. In my opinion, I don't think Mason Mount is fit. So I think Mason Mount probably would have started. I know he's been on the bench for the last few games. I feel United might be trying to cover up an injury there because I don't think he's actually fit. I think Mason Mount would be starting normally. And the fact that he isn't, I just don't think he's actually fit enough. Maguire was starting before he got injured and is now back now he's fit. So Yoro may well be the backup centre-back. I know I don't like that. I know some of you don't like that. But I sensed Maguire might start this game because look at the goals we conceded last week. A lot of them, well, both of them came from the inability to deal with crosses into the box, and Maguire's very good at that. Look at modern football, high balls, long throw-ins, set pieces. Maguire's very good at that. I mean, you can't really argue with Maguire starting this game because at the moment, we are seeing the renaissance, should I say, of the person who can win a header, I suppose. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I think it's harsh on Yoro. I think it's harsh on De Ligt. I mean, we're moving De Ligt. I have to emphasise this. Yes, Yoro's dropped, but we're also moving De Ligt out of position. I don't get why he's always changing his centre-backs. Sesko as well, not surprised. As I said, the rumour was going round. I'm not surprised he's done it. So, in honesty, I'm not that surprised about his team selections. And I think what you've got to realise is he is clearly, and I said this with the Chelsea game, he clearly values experience over a project at the moment. He clearly values results over a project at the moment. And he's been very clear about that. And at some point that will have to change. But right here, right now, Ruben Amorim, our manager of the month, clearly values the Maguires, the Shaws, the Brunos, the Casemiros, the Mazraouis. You know, he values the experience over the potential. But there is still potential in that lineup. Dorgu's come back in. Ahmad's still relatively young. Cunha and Mbeumo are new signings. So look, I hope it's Lemens in goal. So I hope it's going to work. I hope it's going to work. Somebody just did a super chat here. Says Josh says we will see lots. We will see lots of goals today, Mark. I don't know. I actually don't know. I think the way that we've gone is quite defensive. Dorgu and Mazraoui are defenders. Ahmad was playing there. That's been abandoned to put him back in the front three. Maguire's not particularly quick and can't push the line up, so I think we'll play a deep line. I think Casemiro and Bruno will sit in front of it. And I think Spurs will play defensive as well. So I think this could be a game that comes down to set pieces. I think we will look to break at pace with Ahmad and Mbeumo and Cunha. And I think, I mean, I might be completely wrong, but I feel if we're going to win this game, we probably win it off a set piece or a breakaway goal or a penalty or something like that. I think Amorim is trying to win this game. And I'm not going to criticise that, and I don't think anybody should. If we win this game 1-0 and it's a bad game, I'll rather take that than a 3-3 classic. I don't see that team as the future of Man United. I don't. So, sorry, one of my lights was off. I don't see that team as one of as the future of Man United. I see it as a team to get a result tonight. And that's today, and that's what I think. It's 1 o'clock in the morning in New Zealand. I hope it's worth it, says Light and Dark. Look, I'm strangely optimistic that we're going to win this game. Yeah, personally optimistic about the income front three, says Sam. Chelsea played without a proper 9 and got a lot of joy. I think João Pedro is their proper number 9 though, mate, and he did play last week. FDC says Tottenham crosses a lot. Maguire is a good call. I mentioned it last night. I mentioned it last night on the, wasn't the 8 o'clock show, was it? It was a different show. But yeah, I had a feeling that Maguire coming back into the team might be useful. What I would say is there are a few doubters out there. There are a few people not happy with this team. And if it goes wrong, I think he's made a lot of changes. If it goes right, and this is what you want from a manager, I think we'll win today. I do. I think we'll win. And I went with the draw on win, lose or draw, but I was probably saying that from I don't want to jinx it like last week. I want to say we will beat Spurs because they're not very good and we're better than them. But I won't say that because I don't want to jinx it. And I said that last week against Forest and we drew. So you never know with United. But whilst my technical prediction is a draw, I do feel that we can win today. And I don't feel that the negativity is really worthwhile. Having said that, I do read it and I do respect some of it. If he gets this wrong, he's made a lot of changes. So he's got to get it right. And the team needs to bounce back as well. Like, we do need to bounce back after last week where I think we, threw away a big opportunity, deservedly or not. I think we did. So let's have a look at this Spurs team. Get your super chats in. I'll read some of those out as well. Please do subscribe to the channel. I'm nearly crying there. I don't know what happened to my throat there. So early kickoff, Tottenham against Man United. Hopefully it's going to be an exciting game as well. Although I'd take boring and win. So Vicario in goal. I heard he was going to be injured, but he's in goal. I don't rate him anyway. Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Spence. I mean, they're quite good defensively. They were shit last week. Palhinha, Sarr and Simmons, Johnson, Richarlison, Moani. That is actually quite an attacking Spurs side. I mean, they realistically, I know Bergval's injured, but they could have put Bentancur in there and had 3 midfielders. So that is quite an attacking Spurs side with Richarlison, Simmons, Johnson and Moani. Looking at the benches for both teams, obviously Fletcher's on the bench to keep this record going of having a youth player on there with Mainu injured, as we spoke about last night. Binder, Delo, Heaven, Fletcher, Mount, Ugarte, Yoro, Xerxes, Sesko. And for Spurs, they've got Bentancur, Danzo, Kinski, Rosewell, Odebear, Scarlett, Tell, Adogi. So the benches sort of match up. The first team sort of match up. The league table sort of matches up. Everything sort of matches up. And ordinarily, you would say that the home, Spurs being at home would play into their hands. But their home record is so bad. And that's what we're playing for today. The opportunity to win and go second, even if it's for a few hours or 24 hours or whatever. So the opportunity is there for Manchester United. And I feel that we have to take it. Do you think if Haaland started for us, he would get more service based on his reputation? I feel bad for Sesko. He needs a consistent run of games, says Vibor. Well, look, there's been a lot of conversation about Sesko this week. And I've got to say, this is getting on my bloody nerves. Out. I meant to hang something up there, but I didn't. When it comes to Sesko, I like Sesko. I'm a big fan of Sesko. But You know, we saw the Gary Neville comment, and you know me, I'm first in the queue to have a pop at what Gary Neville's got to say. But I didn't feel what he said was ridiculous. He basically said the jury's out. And the reason I didn't come piling in on that is because I genuinely don't think Sesko is... I don't think Amrim's convinced by him. And that was before I heard what Amrim had to say about him yesterday. And Amrim basically said the jury is still out. So I think with Sesko, he's still very much a work in progress, isn't he? You know, this is what he's had to say before the game, by the way. Let me just go through some of his comments. He said that on Jack Fletcher's inclusion, we have that record and we're not going to break that record, and Jack is ready to help us. So, yeah, basically that's why Jack Fletcher's there. This is about having a youth player on the bench since the 1930s. He also said only having one game a week. We've talked about that last year, and that is crucial to have time to prepare for every game, to control the injuries. We try to use the positives, and the negatives is that we have so many players that deserve more minutes. But we need to choose the best players to start the game, so we try to see the positive, and you improve when we have more time to train. Has he made too many changes today, though? We'll find out. He said about positive results. Yeah, it's normal when you win games, everything looks brighter, but the important thing is to not let it get carried away with good results and good performances. We know that in our club, what matters is the next game, and people will judge our team in the next game, so let's focus on the game today. Why is he being asked these questions? What a load of shit. He's being asked how he's remained positive despite poor results. He's just won the Manager of the Month award, you idiots. Who's asking this shit? How do you remain positive despite poor results? He's just won the fucking Manager of the Month. He's unbeaten in 4. What? I'm not even going to answer that. Amrim, you should have said, shove it up your arse. Absolutely stupid questions. Why aren't they asking him about why haven't you picked Sesko and why have you made 5 changes? I can't speak. I can't speak at the stupidity. Ty TV says, can you call my mate Dom Gordon a prat, please? Yeah, see, that's got more credibility than what TNT have asked Amrim there. How do you deal after a run of bad results? Hello, I've just won three and drawn 1 and won Manager of the Month. That's how I deal with it, idiot. Look at that award. Shove it up your arse. In fact, don't. I want to put it on my mantelpiece. Astronaut says, hi, Mark. Please help me. I'd like to send a text. Dear Miraculous, you're one of the most important person in my life. I'm sorry for not being there for you. I pray for you and for us to have a chance to meet soon. Hashtag soulmates for life. Okay. I hope that person gets that message, Astronaut. Thank you very much. Mark, last night you said Amrim doubters. I think that's a perfect phrase. The team sheets continue to cause doubt, but then we get a result, says Luke. Yeah, well, look, look, obviously I'm Amrim in. What's going on with TNT? Is anyone else's TNT absolutely shit? I mean, it's like I'm watching it on Nokia 3210. Is anyone else's TNT absolutely shit today? Is there a HD I'm missing? Oh, that's why. Idiot. Yeah, I was watching it on the... Who watches the old one? Like, what? I suppose some people don't have HD TVs. Even the unemployed have HD TVs. Come on. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just in my day, we didn't have much. Come on, United. Let's not get political. Carragher's in trouble for that now. Come on, United. We can do this, says Luke. Delit or Van der Ven, Mark, says Josh. Definitely Delit. I think the first half of the season, he wants some stability. He knows he's on thin ice, so he needs to survive. I think his lineup will surprise you, says Seth. That's not going to bloody surprise me, is it? It's not going to bloody surprise me, Seth. How's it going to surprise me? I've just been bigging up the lineup. I've said he's made a lot of changes, but I'm not surprised by them. Maguire's in for height. Sesko, I thought he was going to drop. He's gone defensive. We're away from home. They're going to be good on crosses. I'm not surprised by his team. Not going to surprise me, Seth. Don't say it's going to surprise me. Say it might surprise others. Not going to bloody surprise me. I've not said anything negative about it. I've said he's made a lot of changes and he's gone with experience. But the reason he's doing that is because he ain't showing us his vision. He is showing us his vision. His vision at the moment is, I'm going to use experienced players to win. And I think we get a little bit tied up in... What's your vision? What's your vision? What's your vision? Where's your young players? Maybe that's not his vision. Maybe Bruno Fernandes is here for the next 3 years. Maybe Casemiro and Maguire get another year. Luke Shaw's here for the next 2 years. You know, maybe Delo will come back into the team. Maybe his vision is these OAPs when it comes to his senior leadership team. Maybe that's the vision. You know, you look at Ten Hag, we were like, oh, look at Rasmus, look at Garnacho, look at Mainu. He's gone. You look at Ollie with Rashford, Greenwood, Martial. He's gone. Maybe Amrim's going, yeah, I'm just going to use these experienced players. That's what I'm going to do. And it's worked. It has worked. It worked against Liverpool. It worked against Chelsea. It can work against Spurs. Let's go. Waking up at early hours for this game. Let's have it, says Andre. And we certainly need experience and champion dynamics, says Santiago. Justin Trudeau dating Katy Perry. Mandani is New York major. What am I doing with my life, says Rub. And New York City mayor, sorry. Tottenham crosses a lot. Maguire's a good call. Thank you. I've just caught up on the super chats there. I joined, so sorry if you've already spoke about it, but what do you think about Delo being dropped? I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's like waking up on Christmas Day morning and having all the presents you want. I mean, seriously, I think that Delo being dropped would be, well, if he'd started, it would have been criminal. In footballing terms, it would have been ridiculous because he doesn't deserve to start this game. And he's been, you know, poor for weeks. So he had to get dropped. Now, I don't know the context of, you know, that dropping. Is it anything to do with it coming out that he was related to Amrim? I very much doubt that. I very, very much doubt that. I think that Ruben Amorim is not this narcissistic person who, you know, does nepotism. I think he's a manager who, you know, is about fairness. And I think he, you know, he's had to make the right decision there. And he does make, look, he doesn't make every decision I want, but what manager ever does? But I'm happy. I'm happy with the team he's picked, and I think it's the right team for him. And he as the manager must be supported and backed. We're not the manager of Manchester United. He is, and I have a feeling we'll win today. And I think then, look, as I was saying before, there's Amorim in, and a lot of us are. There's Amorim out, and I think some people are, and there's Amorim out. And sometimes I'm a little bit Amorim'd out, to be honest. Sometimes I doubt him and put my hands up at that. But that's a category I'm happy to walk into occasionally. I obviously don't want to be in the Amorim out camp. But sometimes I am a little bit Amorim'd out. But you can't spell doubt without out, says Sheep Guy. But you can't spell in without sin. I don't know how that works. I mean, it's just irrelevant, like your comment. Colin Bolger's gifted a membership. Thank you very much. If United was an animal, what animal would we be, says Ben. I don't know. I think sometimes we are very aggressive and capable of beating winning any battle. And then sometimes we're vulnerable. Are we a bear that when we're awake and we're hungry, we can beat anybody, but when we're asleep and hibernating, we're vulnerable? I don't know. Vong says we're a badger. I woke up at 5 a.m. for this game here in the States, says Cody. Yeah, let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Thank you for everybody. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. If you're on YouTube, we are only 10 subscribers away from 214,000. As you can see, we're 213,000 there. We're 10 subscribers away, so please subscribe and click the share button. If you've just tuned in on Twitch, thank you everybody like JTO and Football and Sar on Crazy Stuff. Who is clearly a Spurs fan because he said, are you ready to get spanked? I don't remember ever getting spanked by Spurs. I remember you winning the crappiest final I've ever watched in May, and fair play to that, but I don't remember ever getting spanked by Spurs. Quite the contrary. But look, you know, it's going to be an interesting game. If you are on Twitch, you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, and that'll get rid of all the ads for you and stuff like that. But yeah, click and subscribe and give us a follow and share the video. Let me have a quick look what's going on here. I'm just seeing if we're getting any updates. Okay, there we go. But yeah, my score prediction was a draw. Oh, we got beat 6-1. Yeah, wow. You know what? That actually, off the cuff, is a very interesting comment because we did get beat 6-1 by Spurs. at Old Trafford during COVID, and how many players were actually playing in that game? Because Maguire and Luke Shaw definitely played, because that was the game where Maguire grabbed hold of Luke Shaw, moving him out of the way, and they scored. Oh, Saucy, thanks for subscribing on Twitch for 3 months. You're a legend. But yeah, Luke Shaw and Maguire, I mean, yeah, they're still playing for Man United. I mean, look, I don't know. I don't know whether I want to go down that road today. I mean, ultimately, the only road I want to go down is Man United winning the game. Nick P says, I'll never understand Ricky. I thought he rated the stealth under the radar players. Now he prefers Van de Ven to De Ligt. I don't think running fast in a straight line was his thing, says Nick. You will never understand Ricky. You just have to appreciate the genius and the madness. And, you know, I'll tell you what, I've been fortunate enough to spend time with Ricky multiple times. And I've been more than fortunate to spend multiple evenings with him having a drink. And entertaining is certainly what he is, and passionate is certainly what he is, and he has his opinions. And surely that's what things like the United Stand's all about, though. You know, we're not here to be always right. We're here to have, you know, and look, the thing about football is, if you keep an opinion long enough, you will ultimately get proven right. I mean, what opinion in football would you get proved wrong on? If you were Sir Alex Ferguson out, yeah, but not many managers walk out the front door. Most of them walk out the back door. You know, most players won't end up as legends of your football club. So I think we can always end up justifying right and wrong. Evan Whelan says, what's your score prediction? I went with a preview draw, but I wanted to go with the Man United win. I just don't want to jinx it. So secretly, I think Man United are going to win. But technically, my prediction is a draw. None of them are a Spurs win, who are capable of winning. They're just shit at home. Hope you're doing great. Been trying to catch you live for ages, says Kev. Hope you're doing well as well. Thank you very much for your super chat, Kev. Maybe I'm delusional, but what if we signed Elliot Anderson and Wharton? Would their right-left combo suit our system? I mean, that would be a dream. Be a bloody dream to get them both. But, you know, that's for the summer. We've got to deal with now, haven't we? Rodri, thanks for your super chat. He says, watching in Tasmania, pulling in an all-nighter for all the games today. Keep up the great work. Enjoy, Rodri. Obviously, we're live at 5:30 for Sunderland Arsenal as well. And a big game tomorrow between Man City Liverpool. I will never, that was from Nick T. Pray for Pakistan, the war has restarted, says Eggy. Well, that's not good news. And thoughts with everybody involved in that then. And Santiago says, how is life in Manchester? My dream is going to Old Trafford and getting drunk in a pub with ale. Do you think I will have a good time? I'm from Honduras. Well, I'm not from Manchester, mate, like most Man United fans. I'm not walking out to that. Yeah, I wasn't walking out to that comment at all. I was just had to check something. Rajdeep makes a good question here. Who has the better team now since the final? I think that's the point of this game, really. We're both locked on 17 points, 6th and 8th. We've both made improvements over the summer. They've got rid of Ange. We've got a few players in. Yeah, I think it's. I think that's what this game's all about. I mean, obviously biased, I'd say United, but we have the same points, so yeah. Nice jumper, Mark. Thank you. Oh, talking about that, the Christmas jumper, wherever it is. Here it is. We've ran out of mediums and smalls, but we've just gone and got a load more. So, well, I say a load more. They will go. But if you want to get the Christmas jumper, United Stand Shopify, they're about to get shipped out this week. You can pre-order them. The best one we've ever done, actually. I absolutely love it. And we have just gone and we ran out of mediums and smalls. So we've just gone and ordered a few more. So if you want to get them while you can, because when they're gone, they're limited edition. Woke up at 5 a.m, says Cody. Lovely stuff. And Jace says, if we need centre-backs who step into the midfield, I think Van de Ven would be perfect, says Jace. I think this Van de Ven loving is capable of getting clipped, but I don't get it. I watched Spurs last week. I think Romero's a walking red card, and I think Van der Ven makes mistakes. But I think the great thing about Van der Ven is sometimes he gets the ball, runs in a straight line, no one tackles him. He's like a bloody train. So, but, you know, give me De Ligt every bloody day of the week. Every day of the week. Big Ounce says, cheers from Florida, hoping for a good result. It's me's gifted a membership. Nick's from Australia. You're my girlfriend's hall pass. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Nick. I'll leave it at that. Leon Cox, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you for getting your badge in, pal. Really appreciate our members in the chat, as always. Is it a must-win? Do you think Sesko is the one, says Daniel. And time to see the team, Timu Maldini, get humbled, says Savage. I think he's talking about Van der Ven. Hurrying home from the hospital after a 12-hour shift. Come on, United. We're in London, aren't we, says Alec. And what's your wish list for the window this winter window? Mine is a centre-back, a left-back and a holding midfielder. That would be a dream, says Spooky. I actually think a decent backup striker and another midfielder would do me. I don't think we'll get both, but yeah. I said this last week about these games being instrumental. Hope we win, but I have concerns. Do you think Xerxes would work in the midfield, says Red Stand? No. Actually, just talking about the results, is it a must-win? I don't think it is. I don't think it is a must-win. I am ready to poop, says De Ligt is our next captain. 4-0 for Tottenham, says Abraham Good on Twitch. Must win, says King Lamarvel. I think winning would be brilliant in the context of the league table, but a draw won't be the end of the world. Obviously, we all want to win, but a draw, I think with a draw, nothing happens, does it? There's a little bit of disappointment. We are where we are for the last week. You know, drawing against Forest didn't set us back, but we didn't take the opportunity. I think the draw, and P said I'd take a draw all day. If you look at the last 4 games, win at Anfield, win at home to Brighton, draw at Forest, draw at Spurs, 8 points from 12. Technically, you might look at that and go, that's top 5 form. That's definitely 5th place form, and that's what we're trying to get. So I don't think you could moan too much about it. If you lose, we're going to drop. And I think there'll be a lot of people going, you know, what's going on there? If we win, we're ahead of schedule. So that's the enormity of the game. Dave the Brave with a super chat. Thank you, Dave. He says, Amrim has bottled it. We are set up not to lose when Spurs are there for the taking. 90 minutes of Hollywood Bulls and trying to find Maguire's head, says Dave the Brave. Well, we're about to start here. We're only 2 minutes away from the start of the game. Wakas is watching from LA. Hi is there from Japan, says Wagner. No, sorry, it's saying hi from Japan. His name's Wagner. Thank you very much. Okay, right. Well, it's an experienced United side. It's a Spurs side that can't win. At home. I think if we could score first here. King Lee the Marvel, thanks for subscribing on Twitch. Legend. Happy birthday, Mark, says Kursoff. It's definitely not my birthday. But I think if we could get an early goal here, then it would be a great start to the game, because they were booing them last week. And, you know, if we can get them booing again, that would be great. Marcus says we will remember them. Yes, it is Remembrance weekend in the UK. Remembering all those who lost, not just lost life, but injured, and what they did in previous world wars. Some people don't appreciate this. I don't understand why they don't. This is about like World War II, World War I, you know, wars that generally I think we accept were, you know, battles against the free world that we want to live in. People make it very about the now, when for me, throughout my whole life, it's always been about the then. And when you look at specifically World War II, what were we supposed to do? Stay at home? People went over there and died. And that's what Remembrance Weekend is for me. And I know people try and turn it into other things. And maybe it is other things to other people, but respect those people who see it as a, you know, a time of the year where we remember those who gave their lives lest we forget. So there we go. I think too many people try and turn it into different things, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a time in my life like Christmas where it gets bloody banned, because that's just the stupid nature of some of the ideas that people have. But yeah, for us, it is that. And as Marcus says, we will remember them. So thank you to those who are doing that. It's very hard for me to... I don't do minute silences on a live stream. I used to do them, but it doesn't actually work. So I'd rather talk about what we're actually doing. I think that's more important. So, Santiago, I love this channel. Don't know why you did that. I don't know what you're talking about, Santiago. Just joined the show, Mark. What are your reservations with the team today, and what would you change? I don't know that it's reservations about making changes, to be honest. I really don't know that it is. I feel like Amrim's picked a team. I respect it. Well, let me be honest. Okay, what changes would I make to that team? I would still have Ahmad at right wing back because it's more attacking. I'd have Sesko up front, which allows me to put Ahmad at right wing back. I would play Dorgu. I'd keep Delo at centre back, and I'd play Yoro. Now, obviously, I'm not allowing for height there, but that's what I would do. I think he makes too many changes game to game. You could call him a bit of a tinker man. But if he wins games, that's what I want, you know. I can see why he's done it. I haven't got a problem with the team. I can see why he's done it. But if it was me, I'd be trying to build things, you know. Anyway, we're up and running here. Timer's running. Spurs early on the attack, but we've won a free kick. Sorry if you already answered it, but no game yesterday, says Jack. Oh, yeah, I had a few problems yesterday with the Bundesliga, so yeah, I had to cancel it last minute. The intention was to do it, but had a few problems. Not just technical problems, a few others as well. Alvin says it's a shame the world went back to not being free. Thank you very much for your super chat there. Rooftop Ruckus as well. I don't know how they've just won a corner there. I wasn't looking. So early corner for Spurs here. I didn't see what happened there. What happened? Sorry, I don't want to reply. I don't want to replay it because I want to see what happens with the corner. But we had a free kick and they've got a corner. So let me just see what happens with the corner. But this is what Harry Maguire's in the team for. Lemens was sleeping, apparently. It went under his leg. Okay. Well, look. Mistakes can happen. Even in games when I haven't really liked his team. What is this fucking referee doing again? We've literally been playing for a minute and he's already slowing the game down. Twat! Do your fucking job and let the game flow, idiot. 1 minute in on a lunchtime game, which traditionally is really slow and lethargic, and you're slowing it down already. Crap cross. Goal kick, that's fine. Even in games we have won, I haven't really liked this team selection or sub. Still feels like there's more balance and potential with the squad, says Jack. Thank you very much, Jack, for that. So, Lamens is about to take a kick here. Thank you very much. Make sure you share the video, everyone. Spurs have started off all right here, but it's very early. I wouldn't say they've got rhythm. We've just not had the ball yet. Now we have Casemiro into Cunha. Casemiro, remember, likes to get rid of the ball quickly. And goes back to Lemens. Was that not a pass back? Was that not a pass back by Casemiro? Picked it up. Maybe it came off Simmons. Give me a shout out, Mark, says Tony. I hope you're well, buddy, says Daniel Thompson. Thank you very much. Appreciate your super chats. It's only been 3 minutes. Yeah, I don't start looking at rhythm yet. We haven't had much of the ball, so let's see how we go. Another free kick. This ref's going to start this game every bloody opportunity he can. Donny says, why the fuck are we playing Maguire? Aerial ability. Brummy Chippy Chip says, goal scorers today, Mark. I would say I don't know. I'm very, very poor at that. Mbeumo or Cunha, I suppose, makes sense. But remember, we started off. Brighton had a lot of ball in the first 20 minutes, and we still won the game. So I never really worry about the start, because I think the way we're set up this season, it only takes a second for us to do something. And Mazraoui back in the team is very interesting. I genuinely think it's incredible that, you know, people talk about Mainu and Xerxes when actually people talk about Mainu and Xerxes, and Mazraoui for me should be starting. Like, he's such a good player, so consistent. Baz says, I like how Casemiro has started. Nice ball in behind here. I mean, I don't know how they've got in behind here, but it's Mbeumo. Puts in the early cross, and he was offside, that's why. I was going to say, I couldn't understand how Mbeumo was in down the left-hand side there so quickly, but I think it was a... Yeah. Well, look, Spurs playing a high line. That's interesting, isn't it? Could play into our hands. I mean, I didn't think that Spurs were going to be playing on the front foot pressing. That plays into our hands, really. We struggle against a low block. Delo's on the bench, pilot guy. And long may it continue. Which Spurs player makes you nervous, says Mohammed. None, really. I mean, look at the players they're missing. Kudos not available. I mean, I've got to be fair, though. The last time we played Spurs, they had a lot of players not available in the final, and we still managed to lose it. But still no Kulusevski, of course. They've got no Bergvall. They've got no Kudos. So... Bruno losing it there. Silly. Simmons slips over. No foul, but they've still got it. Good battling by De Ligt. Good battling by Casemiro. Good battling by De Ligt. Into Bruno. There's a bit of a break here. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Loads of space for Bruno. Into Cunha. Still Bruno. We've got to go wide left. We've got to go wide left. Into Mbeumo. Cuts it back. Oh, he could have had a shot. Could have had a shot. I thought he was going to score. Great play. Offside again. Fuck. Wouldn't have counted. I feel like there, I felt we were going to score. It's like it was just breaking for us every 50-50. And when Bruno gets it here, he waits too long. I don't think he was offside anyway. I mean, it doesn't matter, but... Don't think it would have been offside. Are you watching any other games today, says Ben? Yeah, I'm doing the Sunderland-Arsenal game later, yeah. No, I don't think that was offside, but ultimately they would have played it on until we'd scored anyway. I think Romero is one of the most underrated centre-backs in the world. He's a World Cup winner, says Rory. I think he's a decent centre-back, but I also feel like... Oh, good play by Brennan Johnson there, but goes for a goal kick. Got to be careful of that. Bruno and Casemiro, when they're not there, this is what happens, look. There's no midfield. No midfield at all. Casemiro can't get back, and you're up your pace up against Maguire. I think De Ligt just did enough to put him off. Yeah, on Romero, I always feel he's a red card waiting to happen. It's quite an open game, though. I think this plays into our hands. Spurs have gone quite brave. Do you think Lissandro starts when he's healthy, says Rory. Thanks very much for your super chat. And Bartley as well says, hope all is well. Big up from Ireland. Shout out to everyone who's watching all around the world, especially Ireland. I obviously have a soft spot for it, having lived there for 3 years. What happened to letting a move play out, then call offside, says Vix. I think he did. I think it did get played out, didn't it, Vix? I think if he'd scored, we'd have had time to score it. I think he put his flag up when the play was over, when Spurs had it. Tony Dev, thanks for your super chat as well. Does Lissandro start, says Rory? I mean, Luke Shaw is doing well at the moment. I don't know. I think we're going to take our time with Lissandro. That's my feeling. Very stop-start game this. United just winning the free kicks from the Spurs press, which just alleviates the pressure, of course. Zap says, do you think Mbeumo's been playing well this season, watching from Australia, so catching games is difficult? Yeah, I mean, look, I think he's just won Premier League Player of the Month. And he's, a very, very, very integral part of what we're trying to build at United. Him and Cunha, that's what we're talking about in relation to the improvement strategy of Manchester United that they're trying to implement. And those two players definitely make us better. I think if we were starting this game with Garnacho and Anthony, I wouldn't be anywhere near as confident. So, yeah, I think he's been a good signing. Spurs definitely trying to play more energetic football here, though. Please share the video if you're watching, by the way. Got nearly 40,000 watching on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. Get involved with United Stand. Live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 o'clock. Get involved with the community. Some people are a bit stressed about this start. I think it's okay. I think it's been an okay start. I don't think Spurs are flowing like a tap. And although we're letting them have the ball, I think we're also very aware of the space on the break. And first goal is always key in a game like this. If they get the first goal, they'll sit in. That's Thomas Frank. If we get the first goal, we can just carry on counter-attacking. So I think the first goal becomes hugely... With United, I always think it's hugely important. Another long ball there, which Mazraoui and De Ligt will deal with, although it goes out for a throw-in. Harry Maguire's knocked down Moani here and has put his hands up to it, so not sure what happened there, but another break in the play. Very stop-start game at the moment. I think it's just a collision, isn't it? Yeah, nothing bad. And I think Maguire puts his hand up and says, look, we've had a collision. So quite an adventurous start here by Thomas Frank, trying to be a little bit more on the front foot against a United side that will hurt you on the break. Rub says, go out there and get me a 0-0, lads. Alfie, thanks for subscribing on Twitch. You're a legend. Thank you very much. I don't agree with not playing Sesko, especially when Mbeumo and Ahmad has been so poor. No, sorry. Alan says... I don't agree with not playing Sesko, especially when Mbeumo and Ahmad have been very good down the right-hand side. There's a lot of change in this team, actually. And I think that if this were to go wrong, I think it would be numero 1 on the list of, like, why it went wrong. Having said that, we have had all week. And when you've got all week, you can work on different ways of playing. I mean, there is a lot of change in that team. De Ligt normally is at centre-back. He's right centre-back. Ahmad is normally right wing back. He's a number 10. Obviously, Cunha. I mean, Dorgu's playing down the middle at the moment. So there's all sorts of interchanging going on. And you've got to notice that sort of thing. And maybe this is from the training ground. I mean, Dorgu went centre forward then for a bit. So a few people in the chat have noticed that. Spurs have to play like this. They're at home, says the wheelbarrow. Playing long balls without Sesko doesn't make any sense, says our man. Political scientist says, did you hear that Amram and Delo are distant relatives? I did, yes. And Anthony Jury says, I feel like Maguire makes us nervous at the back. Seb says, I need a centre forward for those. We need a centre forward for the breakaways. Pete the Meat says, I love what you do. It's like having your best mate in the room. I know what you're saying there, Pete, but some people will take that the wrong way. Make or break for Lisandro. One more injury and they'll sell him, says Bartley. G-Team Ranger, thanks for subscribing with Prime. Dazza said, I don't think anyone predicted Mazraoui at right back. And I'm not really sure why we've done it, other than Mazraoui's a good player. Look, I like Mazraoui, but I don't think not playing Delo. I don't think we couldn't have played Ahmad at right wing back. Why does Maguire keep doing the pointing before a pass, says Jide? This is just his thing. It's his finishing move. It's like the tombstone on with The Undertaker. What percentage that the owners will actually buy someone in January? Transfers? I think we have to, mate. I think we have to. Cleverson says you look cute today. Gibbs, thanks for subscribing with Prime. Rub says go and get me a 0-0 draw. Do I prefer hobnobs or chocolate digestives? Definitely hobnobs, Sar. I tell you what, I am just while the play's a little bit slow. I am hijacking. I'm not hijacking. I am. What's the word when you're not doing something? I refuse to do it. That should have been 1-0. Lovely cross into the box. Richarlison free header. He should have scored that. Mazraoui and Dalit don't really understand what's going on there. And that would have been on Dalit, I'm afraid. Or Mazraoui. It's like, you know, you make these changes and boycotting, that's the word. He should have scored. But that can happen when you've got a new right wing back and Dalit's moved position. You know, he'd be used to being the centre back, not the right side centre back. A lot of change in this team. I'm boycotting Quality Street this year. Last year was the final straw. Paper wrappers, they've changed the recipe. They're bloody horrible. And apparently they've got some nice ones at M&S this year. So boycotting those. Ridiculous shot by Sarr. Goal kick to Man United. Playing out from the back a lot. Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that. I was literally just about to talk about that, Sadine, sorry. We are playing out from the back a lot. Zach B, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime on Twitch. Yeah, we're playing out from the back a lot. And we're having to do that because we don't really have a lot of height up front. Cunha, Mbermo, Ahmad. They're not going to win. They're not going to win these balls against Palhinha and Romero. I mean, he's going to go long now, but I suppose you've got to try and hit Dorgu against Porro, haven't you? So a long ball there, Dorgu wins it, and he's probably our best hope. Nice ball into the channel. Brennan Johnson won't keep that in. You excited to see Angry Ginge in I'm a Celebrity, Mark, says Jay. I'm excited for Angry Ginge. I've not watched I'm a Celebrity ever. I think I got paid to do it by Paddy Power a few years ago, but it ain't my cup of tea. Dorgu's first touch is questionable, says Chiri. Changing the team too much. They are confusing the players, says Nico. It's like he's playing Mazraoui to prove Delo, says Narky. I've never liked watching us playing with no focal point, says Colin. Connor says, when you're doing I'm a Celebrity like Angry Ginger and H Mark. They did inquire a few years ago, but I presume, no, I don't fancy that. I'm not in this game for that. I'm not interested in all of that. You know, that means going away for a month, not being able to do your watch-alongs, not, you know, I'm not in it for that bullshit. No chance. I think it works for people like Ginge and that because it's their lifestyle, aren't they? Like if you're a lifestyle creator, it's it makes total sense. But no, I wouldn't want to do that. I'd get very depressed very quickly, not being able to watch football. It'd make for good viewing, but I'd be very, very moody. Right now, we look like Spurs against Chelsea, says Michael. Top of the morning to you, Mark. Cheers from Canada. Disappointed no Sesko and Yoro, says Nath. And we're losing a lot of second balls. Underrated part of Sesko's game is creating winnable second balls, says Andres. D Bragg, thanks for subscribing with Prime, and Epic as well. Thanks for subscribing on Twitch, legends. Ethan's watching as a neutral Newcastle fan here. Well, as a Newcastle fan, you're probably getting a terrible ball by Casemiro there. Very sloppy by United this start. I mean, it's not like Spurs are creating chances. Well in by De Ligt there, but yeah, very sloppy by Man United in our passing, which is dangerous because Spurs will just get more and more confident as longer the game goes on. I mean, look, I think we're just set up for Ollie ball, really. You know, that whole wait for that moment to just counter and hurt them on the press, on the counter. Why are we criticising Dorgu when a week ago we were asking Amram to bring him back? I like Dorgu. Definitely more balance. Gun to your head, are you doing I'm a Celebrity or Celebrity Big Brother, says Ben. Oh my God. I probably would do Big Brother because Celebrity with all the bugs and that, I wouldn't sleep very well. And I need my sleep. And Burma needs to be more switched on. Haaland with 18 offsides in his whole time in City, and Burma with 2 offsides in the first 7 minutes, says Marlow. Yeah, but neither of them were. Neither of them were offside, to be fair. Ryan Taylor says, Mark, next weekend the National League have all the 3 p.m. games starting at 3:03 so they can be televised and DAZN. Really hope the Prem can look into that that for us in the UK, says Ryan. Remember, next Saturday, it's my all-day charity stream that I do every year. So we'll probably have a keep an eye on that then. That'd be nice to have on in the background. Looking forward to that. Raising money for people with serious and terminal illness. Do it every year. So please do join us next Saturday on That's Football for our yearly charity stream. Oh, Cunha, this is it. Oh, just that. That's it. That's it. We're set up to counter, and that's how it will work. I've seen a lot of people moaning. I mean, Romero there could have been a handball. Lovely play by Cunha. I certainly think Romero put his hand in the way there. Interfered with play. Well, it wasn't a penalty. It was outside the box, but definitely stopped Cunha getting through one-on-one. I mean, look, it's a big call, but genuinely, Romero's hand slows Cunha down. If he doesn't handball it, Cunha's through. It's one of those decisions in football that they just don't give, but technically I think they should have done. Another corner. Good play by United here. Wheelbarrow says there's too many people out of position, lots of changes. Another corner. It's called advantage, Mark. It's not a bloody advantage, though, is it? When you don't get the you don't get the opportunity. If I'm running through past the last man and I knock it past him and he slows it down with his hand and me, and then the returning player gets back to block it, how is that an advantage when if he hadn't handballed it, I'd have been through with a one-on-one? But these referees can't figure out the real rules without figuring that out. Slow start. First time this season we've not had a shot in the first 15 minutes. Seems like we are moving slow-mo and just long ball. Hope it works, says Island Boy. Yeah, I think with regard, thanks for your super chats, by the way. We'll read those out, do them through the $sign. Let us know what your thoughts are on the team and the first sort of 20 minutes here. Is it 20 minutes? 23 minutes, yeah. I think that I sort of get the plan and it can work. It might not be particularly pretty, but we are definitely set up to counter. Worst thing for all these years is we just don't want it enough. If we win, we win. Otherwise, we did our best. How do we change that, says Sarvesh. It deflected onto his hands. That's the rule, says 58 Go. Well, it's a crap rule. It's a crap rule. A lot of people saying then Burmo needs to go back to the right. Well, again, that's another change, isn't it? Just because Yoro and Seska have been dropped and Delo, it's not 3 changes. It's the changes of positions for the people that are starting last week, starting this week. And Burmo's playing off the left. Ahmad's playing off the right. So that's another change, isn't it? We've done all right in the last few minutes, though. We've had probably our best phase in the game. Which is not saying a lot. Oscar says, why is Mburmo playing on the left side? So Ahmad can play off the right side. They're both playing at number 10, aren't they? So this will be, I think we'll score from this because that looked like the ball went out. This has got controversial all over it. Oh no. Okay. You know, sometimes you feel like we're going to score from there. Oh, we've got to be careful now. People out of position. Simmons all on his own. Good tracking back by Bruno and Casemiro. I say Bruno and Casemiro did well there. They did do well, but it doesn't feel like a midfield, does it? It's last ditch all the time. They're out of position. Desperately need to invest in that area. Hi Mark, was a great countdown show today by the team. Bruno needs to stop taking corners and never puts them in a dangerous area, says Shane. Spurs on the attack here. Spence up against Mazraoui. Cross is good. De Ligt does well. Perfect game for Xerxes and Mount, says A11. I don't think Mount's fit. I think United are covering up his injury by putting him on the bench and not using him. Because we know how much Amrim loves Mount. And in the last 3 games, he's been on the bench and he doesn't use him. So I don't think he's actually fit. I think he would use him if he was. Delo not on the pitch means we're missing out on long throws. Big weapon lost as a result. We're a long throw team, says Eggy. I'd rather not have that, to be honest. Anyway, corner to Spurs here. You feel like these could be big moments. Crap corner again. I don't know why Spurs. I tell you what though, talk about Spurs, talk about Arsenal. Well done, Ahmad. Yeah, you talk about Spurs, you talk about Arsenal. Spurs corners are crap, and that's like such a big part of what Arsenal do, isn't it? But good play by Ahmad there, and I think we've ended up with a corner ourselves. Frank knows Mburmo very well. Probably the reason why we play with a fluid front 3. They will swap a lot, but is Amrim trying to be clever? Too clever, says Marlowe. Can you wish my dad Roberto a safe flight to Puerto Rico, says Roberto. Yeah, safe flight to Puerto Rico, Roberto. Cunha looks deflated, says Sammy N. Corner to United here. Right, let's see if Bruno can put a good corner in, because there literally was some criticism there. De Ligt wants a penalty. Brennan Johnson gets a yellow card. Why can't we have a penalty for this? I've seen this before. Why can't you get a penalty for it? If you give a yellow card because someone's fouled somebody in the box, why don't you get a penalty? I mean, I presume that's a rule, but it just seems a bit ridiculous to me. You give a card... So Brennan Johnson's been booked for doing something to De Ligt in the box. but we don't get a penalty. Always been a weird one. Anyway, nothing happened with the corner. They've headed it away. Looks like a team of players unfamiliar with their roles, says Seb. And Ash says, if we invest in a midfielder in January and loan Mainu out, then we are effectively ending Mainu's Man United career, as he will be further behind, says Ash G. Thanks for your super chats. God save the Pope. Thank you very much for joining them, subscribing on Prime. Twitch, sorry. I think, look, it's not been the best game of football, but I think in the last sort of 10 minutes, we've come into the game a little bit more. I was a bit, like, concerned in the first 20. Although, Spurs, it's not like we're conceding chances. We are playing a back five. We're not going to be easy to score against. And somebody said before the game, I think there'll be a lot of goals in this game. I don't really. I think the way we're set up is very defensive. And what we're trying to do is preserve the clean sheet and find a goal. That was very clear to me that was the tactical setup. It won't make for a very interesting game, but Amrim clearly feels this is the best way to get 3 points. Corners have been shit so far, says Kenneth. Well, they've been shit from both teams, haven't they? King Leo says, how has this season been compared to last? Is there a higher baseline of enjoyment due to United being in the top half, top five? Says King. I sort of forget the start to last season, if I'm being honest. Good play, Dorgu. Nice ball, Casemiro. Lovely weight of pass into Ahmad. Pilka says, I can't believe it's still 0-0. And yet I definitely can. I hope he is thinking about bringing Sesko on, because I do think that long ball into Sesko can change things. Nice little leave there for Bruno. Into Cunha. Bit of space. Not a great... Crossing's not been very good, has it? Oh, Mbermo. Ahmad. Spencer's always going to beat him in the air there. Go on, that's it. That's the right ball. Goal! Yes, in! Oh, what an easy goal. Such a good goal as well. Ahmad onto Mbermo. 1-0 to United. It was just so simple. It was just so bloody simple. Easy. Easy. And Spurs... Well, I'm not going to talk about Spurs. Let's talk about Man United. It just felt like over the last 10 minutes, we were starting to get a foothold in the game. Spurs have offered absolutely nothing. And just a good cross by Ahmad. And literally 30 seconds before that, maybe not even 30 seconds, Mbermo didn't really get hold of a cross. We're going to see it here, actually. Here it comes. Look, it gets on the end of Dorgu's cross. Probably should do a little bit better. It's a bit behind him. But he just had one free header. Crap clearance. Good play by Mazraoui. Cunha, Ahmad. And look at the cross. Look at the cross there. Over Porro. Lovely cross. I mean, keeper should do a little bit better, I think. But great cross. Yeah. I think Vicario knows he should do a little bit better. But lovely cross by Ahmad. Fantastic header by Mbermo. 1-0 to Man United. Come on. Come on. 1-0. First goal, so important. We're not gifting up any chances as well. This plays right into our hands now because Spurs can't play any different. Right, don't look at the league table. Second. It literally happens in front of me. Fate. Yeah. You know what? The cross from Ahmad needs some... that needs some love, that does. It was so good. Such a good cross. Such a good cross. It was so good. It was so good. like, takes Porro out the game so well. Romero's going to get booked there as well. Told you, he's a walking red card. Get him sent off. We're on easy street. Signing of the season, says Alec. Well, just one player of the month, hasn't he? I don't think we can argue with that. Ahmad, Cunha and Burmo trio is so good, says Lucas. Ahmad has all the attributes to be a real top-class player. I hope he continues as a starter. Hard to take the ball off, quick and determined, says Daniel. Thank you very much. Let's go United. Hope for a win today as we look better than Spurs, says Einert. And Ilya stayed up till 5:30 to watch this boring game. Can we get a Jamie Carragher from you? Well, it's not boring now. It's not boring now. Just waking up in Dallas, Texas. How are we doing, says Red Devil. You should give the refs a break. They're trying, says Apage. Do you watch rugby, Mark, says Rory. No. Two most chaotic teams in the Prem. It's low quality, says Marlowe. How did we lose the final to this team, says Eden. Yeah. Well, look, I don't think it's been a classic, but I do think it's about... I do think what it's about is the ability to get the first goal. Jason says Casemiro will get a yellow next. He feels like he's missing out. But getting the first goal is so important. And I know we did it last week against Forest, but Forest was set up a bit differently. Forest had to attack in the second half, whereas Spurs have been trying to attack in the first half and not really succeeding. And what happened is Spurs were okay for the first 20. I mean, what's Van der Ven then? Van der Ven, if we score from this, he wins it back. I mean, Van der Ven nearly fucking up there, going on his, sprint down the middle with a straight line. Happy midfielders are taking the pressure off Sesko, says IQ. It was nice to see Ahmed cross it instead of shoot. Means he's learned from previous mistakes, says Johnny. Hope you're well, Mark. Is United back? Leon, I ain't talking about Man United being back 35 minutes into a game where we're winning 1-0. Mbermo lethal, thriving at United, says Bartley. A true gent says, I hope you win today, Arsenal fan. What's happened to old Van der Forest Gump? Maybe Van der Forest Gump. That's brilliant, Nick. Maybe he's saving the run for the second half. Oh, he just tried it there. Run, Van der Ven Forest, run. I can't do it. Van der Forest Gump. Run, Van der Forest Gump, run. Love that. He just tried it there and Casemiro absolutely clattered him. Watching this at work on my break. I've been here since 5. Got an hour to go. Get in. Mbumo, says Horn. Enjoy, mate. Enjoy. We're in second place at the moment, says NRG on Twitch. We are. Look, we were 1-0 up last week. What a great opportunity if we can go in 1-0 up here and then not blow it in the second half. As a Scotsman, I'd love to hammer this lot, and Scotland to beat the All Blacks would be perfect. Enjoy the show, as always, says Jack. Thank you, Jack. Mrs. has just got back in from football as well with my daughter and says, do you want a cup of tea? It's getting better all the time. It's getting better all the time. Long way to go, but encouragement would be that Spurs aren't playing particularly well, aren't really creating anything, and we look good defensively. So you got to build on that. Ian says, I've been watching since 2018. I just wanted to say what a great job you're doing. Really makes my day watching you with the match. Well, hey, if you are watching the United stand, you're all very welcome. We've got an amazing community here. Don't forget, we're live every night at 8 o'clock, Monday to Sunday, every morning at 10 o'clock, Monday to Sunday. So make sure you subscribe if you're on Twitch or if you're on YouTube, bottom right-hand corner to do it. And share the video. Thanks for being part of it. Who's comparing Van der Ven with Van der Who now, says A True Gents. This is what happens when you buy Premier League proven talent and not the hopes and dreams of young potential, says Kyron. We're in a title race, says Kramus. We're not. I want 6-1, says DJ John. Well, it would be nice to get... I definitely agree with you. Let's get the second goal. Then we can talk about the third. But we don't want to be 10 minutes. I mean, look, we've got to be greedy. We don't want to be 10 minutes to go 1-0 because we know what will happen. All the defensive subs will happen. They'll get a late bloody cross or something like that. So we've now got to build for the second goal, because that was the mistake last week. We've got to come out in the second half and play better, certainly. But all the ingredients are there. Why are we crossing loads? The Sesko doesn't play, says James. Kyron says, this is what happens when you buy Premier League proven talent and not the hopes and dreams of young potential. Defensive markings are on point without Delo, says T Terminate. I just don't think Spurs are actually that good, you know. I did say this last week, and I've got to be very careful about, that's why I went with a draw. I don't want to jinx a game that I really genuinely thought we were going to win. But I will still keep saying draw just to keep the jinx at bay. But I watched them last week. They're not very good. It's so important to score first because their fans will start to boo. We've done that. They will be... Also as well, look, looking at it, obviously I do that's football, so I watch a lot of football that's not, you know, passionate United related. And Vicario, for me, well done, Delit, goal kick. Vicario, for me, probably should have done a little bit better on that, where it is on the goal, but whatever. Whatever. So, you know, should it have been a corner against Forest last week? Don't care. Bruno with a shocking pass, but shouts at Ahmad, not my captain, says Marlow FC. United playing well. Goldbridge is getting his hair colour back, says Peak. Cardboard Horde HD, thank you very much for becoming a member on YouTube. You're a legend. Thank you very much. And I've been watching since the streams on your way to work. What a journey it's been, says Carter. Oh, I remember those, yeah. Used to enjoy those. Bit stressful on the train trying to figure out thumbnails and what to talk about and then remembering it for a 20-minute journey, but those were the days. Good play, Dorgu. I thought Romero had left one in on him there, and on a yellow card he'd have been walking. That would help us massively. Keep your eye on that. I said he's a walking red card. Well in Mazraoui. I've been watching. Defensive markings are on point. Thank you very much, Terminate. What I love about Mbeumo is the no-nonsense performance. No razzmatazz, just consistently being professional. We really need that at our club. Love it, yeah. Dibble, very good point. Island Boy says, I love that beautiful bearded man. Saw him in Atlanta for his debut and there is something about him. He is the one. Nicky No Chairs has just gifted a membership. Crap cross by Porro. Spurs fans starting to get frustrated. I think it was Brennan Johnson with the cross, actually. Shame the United Strand guy wasn't a tad more realistic and went with 5 unbeaten, says X. Well, I start again. Well, hopefully we start again. Yeah, just watching it back here. Spurs don't really clear the lines. I mean, it's a very good header by Mbeumo. I think the keeper thinks he's going to head it back the other way. And therefore, he's sort of planted. I think if the keeper knew it was going to that side, he would have saved it easy. But I think he's sort of body weight expecting it going that way. And he's done him that way. That's why he didn't move. De Ligt's back in the Dutch squad, says Robin. I mean, that's good for De Ligt, of course. But obviously, from a United point of view, I prefer it when they're not. Get a bit of a rest. But then again, we are only playing one game a week at the moment, so. Lot of space here. 43 minutes. Lot of space when we get the ball. But there's not a lot of space for Spurs to get into. I mean, look at the amount of players we've got behind the ball here. They're going to find it very difficult to score against us. So look at the back five. It's been a back five all game. Then you've got another 5 behind the ball. I mean, everybody is in the box. Hi, Lark. Hi, Lark. Hi, Mark. I love the show and have been watching daily for 7 or 8 years. Would you ever do a live show in South Africa? I'd love to, HTV. Love to. Bruno is horrible, says Shane. I don't really notice that. Ari's Last God, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime on Twitch. Corner to Spurs here. I wouldn't say I've noticed Bruno have a great game, but I wouldn't say I've noticed him have a bad game. I'd say him and Casemiro have done all right. Good tackle by Dorgu. Strime says Bruno has been horrible. Let's just deal with this corner. Last minute of the half. Delete well up. Very strong header. Bruno blocks the cross. Adam says Bruno's had a mid game, good bits and bad bits. Yeah, I'd sort of agree with that. Midfield's been okay. I wouldn't say when we look at it at half time, I wouldn't say we've played well. I think we've defended well. I don't think we're playing well, Oliver. I think that's a bit of a stretch. I think we've created a chance and we've took it, which is more than Spurs have done. I can't remember a chance for Spurs. Oh no, Richarlison. Richarlison probably had a good chance that maybe it wasn't as good as Mbeumo's, but it's been quite an equal game. But you'd take that. We're away from home. Like, I think when you're away from home, you expect to be under a little bit more pressure. And only a minute added on here. Might be something on the break. Do you think, Bartley says, do you think Dorgu's improved this season? I like Dorgu. I don't really get the issue with Dorgu. I mean, he's a prospect, and I think he is better this season than he was last season. Obviously, he's not the finished article yet. Crap. I mean, Spurs are playing so bad. They're so bad. Like this. Hopefully, we can keep this up because they are playing really bad. And I would imagine Thomas Frank walks into the dressing room. I would imagine that is something that's gonna go one of two ways. They're either going to come out really good in the second half, or they're just heads are going to continue to drop. Brooker OG, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. I'm just going to take a seat for the second half because I've been on my feet all day. 1-0 United. We'll have some of that. Let's stop the clock. So, statistically, let's have a look at the stats at half time. What was that? So, they've had a bit more possession. Total shots, 3 against 3. Only 1 shot on target in the whole game. I don't think it's been a very good game. I mean, it's not as bad as Spurs-Chelsea last week, but it's not been a great game. The quality of passing's been a bit off. And I think it just comes down to something that I would take a huge positive in, is that not every week is every game going to be good. But it's that difference, isn't it? It's that game changer that we spent £65 million on. That's literally what you spend the money on. You spend the money on that. And that's the story of the half. It's the if you look at last season, we probably go in 0-0. We're defending well, but you know, the Garnachos, the Antonys, the Rashfords, whatever, they're not probably going to make a difference in a game like this. But the mentality, the consistency, the pedigree of the Mbeumo's and the Cunhas. And somebody said at the start of the game, who do you think is going to score? I said, I'm not very good at predicting scorers, but you feel in a game like this, the way we're set up and the way Spurs are playing, it's going to come down to what Brentford and Wolves did last year. How many games did Brentford and Wolves win like this last year because of goals from Mbeumo or Cunha? And it's that, well, I wouldn't call it individual brilliance, Jackie, because it's a good team goal. It's a good cross by Ahmad, and Mbeumo's in the right position and he takes the chance. I think it's the ability to take the chance. The one shot on target is a goal for Man United. The clinical nature of it. If that's on Garnacho's head, he misses it. You know, if that's on Anthony's head, he misses it. It's on Mbeumo's head, he scores it. And we've seen that a lot in the last few weeks. They get half a chance and they take it. And I think that that's the big difference in the game. Look, Spurs, I know it's not pretty, but second place in the league is pretty after 11 games. And that's where we sit at the moment. So you've got to go away. We're good at home. You've got to go away from home and try and pick up points. And we're looking good to pick up points here. I've always said, we saw it at Arsenal last year in the Cup. We saw it a couple of times as well. That is a horrible, horrible system to score against. Like, we are literally a back five with 4 players in front of it. It's a horrible system to score against. And how Spurs are going to do it, it's going to be very interesting, because you try to do it, you try and commit the numbers to do it, and then you leave space at the back, and we know what we can do there. As I say, is it the most scintillating football to watch? Possibly not. But from where we've been over recent years, we need to be back in the Champions League. Yorny says, Delit's been a brick wall. Yeah, look, I think defensively we've looked very, very strong. There was one cross into the box where we got caught out. I think it was a Porro cross. And, I mean, Richarlison still had a bit of work to do, but he completely messed it up. That's the one chance I can think of where we got exploited in 45 minutes. I think the big thing for the second half is 2 things in the second half for me. 1, do not fall asleep in the first 5 minutes like last week. That's unforgivable. 2, let's not put ourselves in a position where we're winning 1-0 with 10 minutes to go. We might still win it, but I would love to get the second goal and kill the game. I feel with Spurs, Romero is a walking red card. The crowd is starting to lose patience. Spurs are playing without confidence. So realistically, I just think it's about game management now. I think it's about, let's keep defending really, really well. Let's wait and not rush the opportunities. I mean, look, the great thing is, we were talking about this last weekend after the game. Against Forest, it was like, first 10 minutes, you're 1-0 up. Keep your shape, keep the ball, frustrate and wait. What did we do? We didn't do that. We invited the pressure. We were reckless with the ball. We fell asleep, 2-1. So here we are. We're 1-0 up against Spurs at half-time. This is what you're saying in the dressing room. The first 10 minutes of this game, keep the shape like you did after you scored. Keep the ball. Move the ball. Let them work hard to win the ball back. Don't start hitting ridiculous balls to give them possession. Let's try and keep hold of the ball as well as we can for the next 10 minutes and not make silly mistakes and not allow them to get opportunities. And that's 10 minutes. And then you think about substitutions. Korshik says, solid first half with scope to improve. Clear improvement areas getting highlighted. Right wing back, left centre back, centre midfield. Now we need to stay awake on the second half and improve on the short passes. A long time since I've had butterflies watching United starting to come back. Also because of the hard work of our front three, says Paddy. Thank you very much for your super chats. Mbeumo has found a whizzer in Ahmad. Fantastic duo, says Murillo. And Scott Page says, need to concentrate second half, not concede early, as we tend to have sloppy moments like this. Like, let's see Sesko, let Cunha drop deep, says Scott Page. And at the moment, I don't care what we play like. We need Champions League football, says Makel. Fair point. United 85 says, I couldn't give a monkeys on the style of play. Well, I think that's a fair assessment as well, because as I said before the game, there is just no way that this Man United side is the future. It can't be. It literally, well, large portions of it can't be. Casemiro and Bruno didn't have a bad first half. They didn't have a good first half. They had an okay first half. But that's going to need to be changed. We know that. Maguire is going to be gone at some point. Luke Shaw won't stay fit forever. So that's going to need to be evolved. So your whole midfield, 2 defenders, that's going to change. So there's still a lot of evolution for that team. So yeah, I agree with you. It's like, do we really care about team selections and style of play when really we just need to care about winning. Because regardless of whether we won the league this year, you'd still need to make those changes. We won't win the league, but my point is, regardless of what happens, he's got to change large areas of that pitch simply because of age and, you know, natural drop-off. So if we can win whilst we work towards that, great, absolutely great. Would you make any changes at half-time? No. I think it's really important that for the first 10 minutes we just solidify what we're doing. De Ligt is man of the match so far. What a beast of a man, says Slazy. De Ligt should be our captain, says Philip. Up 1 at half-time versus Forest. Got to stay awake. Second half, says Esev. Passing accuracy, absolutely pants again. I didn't see that, actually, mate. I normally do take a little bit of an in-depth look at what's happening at half-time, but I did just have a look at the shots. 79 pass accuracy to 84%. Look, but what are we doing? Like I say, we are defending deep, depriving them of goal-scoring opportunities, and then we are looking to counter. So, yeah. So, no, I wouldn't make any changes now. Because I think we just got to keep it as it is and try and learn from last week. And it's a great opportunity to learn from last week. And I'm not going to jinx anything today. Like, I really think that we... Sorry, I've sent that wrong. Just got to send somebody something. I'm a man and I can't multitask. Yeah, I think it's very important that we just learn from last week. It's a great opportunity. And learning from last week, personally, I'm not going to jinx this game and say, yeah, we're going to win it. I think a lot of people in the chat are saying we're going to win it. I said we were going to win it last week when I watched them play against Chelsea. I thought they were shit. And I think all the ingredients are there to go and win it. And I'd be very disappointed if we didn't. But I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to win it because you just don't know in football. Colonel, welcome. Thank you very much for subscribing with Twitch. Thank you very much. Yeah, so look, let's get this game won. I thought Forest last week. Look at where we are in the league. Obviously, that can change. But Man City and Liverpool both can't win. Sunderland won't beat Arsenal. Bournemouth might not win to Villa. We could put ourselves in the top 4, which is just incredible, really. So what an opportunity. What an opportunity. It's incredible. Fernandez passing poor. I would like to see Agate or Mainu on at 60 minutes, says Paul. We don't see Mainu because he's injured. He's not even in the team today. Isaac, thanks for your super chat. Need better first touches in this game, says Simon. Angry Jawa says, it's hard to criticise that first half. This is much better than I expected. Pressing is intense and sustained through the first creative, says Angry Jawa. Porro's been holding someone's pocket since Bilbao, says Green. And I'm not sure this will make sense, but this is the best version of a transitional team we've had at United, says Ndibwa. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think we get a little bit obsessed with the now. I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took us to a Europa League final and second in the league, transitionally. So I think, you know, put a bit of respect on Ole's name. He literally did this. So, and was it not the season where Martial, Rashford and Greenwood scored like 55 Premier League goals between them? So we have done it before and it suits certain players. I mean, who was playing then? Maguire, sure. So it does suit some of these players. Nice to see some real praise for Dorgu in the... and then Brian says Dorgu out now. I just don't get it. I'm reading 6 or 7 comments of people saying Dorgu's really, really good, and then I see that. Viber, thanks for subscribing with Prime. Really appreciate you. And love where you've taken United stand. Well done. Looking at the table now, I wish today was the final day of the Premier League, says Curlin. Some people think we're going to win the league. Stop worrying, it's Spurs, they're shit, says Zach. I still think, and I mean, I'm going to say this, I think Romero has been very close twice to getting the second yellow. Recovering from minor surgery in my thigh with the United game and this wonderful community. Can't think of anything better. And Burmo and Ahmad again, says Rajaf. Get well soon, mate. Hope you're doing well. And along to that from Paddy as well. Mitcha says, without Bruno, we would have 65% possession today. His corners are bad. Other than that, I like how we play. Love United stand, says Mitcha. Yeah, a few people getting on at Bruno. Also, Khalidas says, how would you rate Mazraoui's performance? Yeah, a lot of people criticising Mazraoui. I mean, he had a part to play in the goal. It's his first start in a long time. I think we need to forgive the fact that you're going to get these... It's exactly what I say about Mainu. Mainu comes on for 20 minutes and people say he's shit. Mazraoui's had 45 minutes and doesn't look that good. But very few players come back or get a chance and play really, really well. You've got to get up to match fitness. I mean, what do you think pre-season's all about? So Mazraoui's going to be behind everybody else, but he's too good a player to be just sat on the bench, and he's better than Delot. So, okay, yeah, I'll put my hands up. Mazraoui wasn't great in that half, but the whole point is, if we want Mazraoui, the player we know he is, we've got to give him game time. He's got to get match fitness. He's not going to get match fitness from the bench. So, yes, Mazraoui's half wasn't great, but it's way better than Delot. User783, thanks for subscribing with Prime. Shout out to my son Nazir on his first soccer game today, says DJ. Well done. Delit is a delight to watch, says Masha. The most competent and complete player. He reminds me of Pallister. Big up United stand. This game is for the winning. Thank you very much to you, Masha. Shout out to my son done that one. Hello from Mohit. Raphael, I love this club. Thanks for being a member for 4 months. Thank you very much for your super chats. Really appreciate that. And everyone who's getting involved as always. Nearly 50,000 watching on YouTube, so click that share button. Let's see if we can hit 50k. Dorgu and Shaw have been both our best defenders all game, and Delit gets all the credit. I don't understand the PR, says next week. Mate, how can you call Delit PR? He gets literally no PR. He gets no credit in this country at all. No ex-player, no media, they never shout him out. The only people who shout Delit out is you lot. So how can it be PR? It can't be, can it? Let's get real. It can't be PR. Anyway, if you've got some thoughts on the half, you can do that through a super chat. We'll definitely read those out. I'm going to try and go through some normal comments as well. But players are coming out for the second half. Substitution, Odebear coming on for Spurs. Get back ready, standing up. Moani off. Look, I'm not going to say those words. I'm not going to say those words, but you struggle to see a way back. United are going to win the league. Not the place. I'm a realist. I'm a realist, mate. But Champions League football has to be the aim, of course. So let's see what... Look, first 10 minutes here. Let's make sure that we don't do anything stupid. Bradley Clout, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, the only way we lose this game is if we bottle it. More patience in the second half. Good take by Lemens. Do not come out flat in the second half, says Sugartown. And Ever Greg, who's been a member for a month, says, I'm just excited to watch United again. Thank you, pal. Hi from Malaysia, says Plywood Guy. Thank you very much, pal. And lots of empty seats at Spurs. Bloody hell. Where are they all? You know what? I'm always out for the second half. I hate the prospect of missing any of it. But the modern football fan, look at that. Look at that. Mark casually breaking his chair. I've got a new chair, Evan. I built it last night. Razor. Ahmad. Romero. See, he's got to be a bit careful, Romero. Well, it hasn't got to be careful, actually. Don't be careful, Romero. Get the second yellow and we're on easy street. I thought Simmons looked quite good for Spurs. Surprised he went to Spurs. I think he's better than that, but... Surely that was offside. Yeah. Yeah. Carl, thanks for the super chat. I don't know where the Spurs fans are, but I mean, that's laughable. Absolutely laughable how many empty seats there are. They're all they're all quaffing their champagne and their bloody prawn sandwiches, aren't they? Disgusting. Happy birthday to Kieran. It's my birthday, hoping for a win. I'm hoping for a win, and then it's turbo international break transfers then. I think it's all about, it's like the March international break, isn't it? Let's get some bloody players in. This is the thing about Spurs fans, though. They will definitely, same thing happened last week against Chelsea, they will definitely switch off. It's all going on. Cunha. Why is nobody getting that fucking door? Back. 2-0. Get in! In Burmo again. I'm joking. Well, the joke's on me. I had to go and get that package. It was meant to come yesterday. It's my new bloody camera. I'm doing well on this one, but I have got a new camera. And it's one of those things where you have to give a code. So I was like, I'd said to somebody in the house, it's 2 stops away. It was meant to come yesterday. We've got to get this. I gave them the code and everything. The door rings. No one gets it, so I had to run through, as you saw, because I can't miss it. I get it, I walk out, and then they come walking down on the phone. Well, you didn't get the message, did you? Nah. Alexa, play Agadoo. Simmons would be... Simmons would be much better alongside world-class players, not with the pressure to lead creatively, says Connell. Nick P says, Spurs are a funny team. They look very slick and polished, but there's a very turd-like quality underneath. One mistake away from failure. I haven't really watched a lot of Spurs this season. And I certainly don't want to give assessments of Spurs when there's still half of a game to go. But I watched them last week against Chelsea, and I think it's always good to try and catch a team that United are playing next. And Chelsea should have won the game 4-0. Like, they were really poor. And although we are second in the league at the moment, I don't think we're a top 4 team. I know Marlow will probably jump in on that. I think we can be 5th. I don't think we're top 4. I think Liverpool are better than us. I know we beat them, but I think they're better than us. Arsenal obviously are. Man City are better than us. They're the best team we've played. And I think Chelsea, when they've got 11 men, will give us a good game. But we've got to pitch ourselves as high as we can. If we can get top 4, build a statue. But 5th place, I'm very happy with. But Spurs are not a concern. Like, regardless of what happens here, I've just not been impressed with them. The only thing I'd say about Spurs is it's impressive that they have such a good away record, because at home they're really bad. And look, we're going to break away here. Cunha. I think that should have been a foul. Should have been a foul there. Refs let it go. Let it go, ref. I like it. Bundesliga. Bruno, why didn't he use Mazraoui there? Fucking hell, Bruno. Now Mazraoui's got it. This is what I tell you what, referees should do this more often. Let it flow. Let it flow. Good play, Maguire. One guess that the person you gave the courier code to is your teenage daughter. No chance you speak about Mrs. G or Seb like that, says Kazim. Casemiro is so slow, says Social Media Mix. If we're going to be a transition team, our attackers must be much more tidy on the break. The relationships and combinations are lacking, says Marlow. Marlow, we are winning 1-0. I'm not saying that you won't get proved right in the longer term, but today is just about winning, I think. Cheers, Mark. Alexa's now playing Agadoo, says Dylan. Thanks for your super chats, everybody. What camera did you get, says A22. Well, I've always had a Sony A7 III, and I was going to get a Sony A7 IV, but then I was doing some research, and there's a different Sony that's a little bit better. I can't remember what it is. I think it's got a C in it. That's my Sunday anyway, setting that up. Look, we've nearly got through 10 minutes of that 10 minutes in the second half. We've nearly got through it here. Bruno's getting a bit of stick in the chat. Cunha's in the graveyard shift, says Jacob. Oh, good save, Lamens. I don't know why is Romero not being marked there? I thought he was going to be offside. Yeah, he's done really well there. You know, if that's Onana, he's patting that back to Romero for a tap-in. Luke Shaw, look at Shaw there. Losing his man. I'm not enjoying this. I'm really not enjoying this. I feel like we're doing exactly what we did against Forest. It feels a little bit like that at the moment. It does feel a little bit like this at the moment. Bruno's killing the game, says Prince. Yeah, the reason that was a good save by Lamens is not only does he make the save, but he gets it out for a corner as well. From that position, look. I tell you what, though. I think there was an element of luck there, but it's good keeping. And what I say about luck is the way that it was very close to the post. We are in good possession. Then Bruno gets the ball and doesn't make an easy pass. Get him off, says Mitcha. Dink to the back post. Casemiro does well. Van der Ven, another save by Lamens. Well, I tell you what, maybe that's the difference from last week because they've had two good chances, Spurs. And another good save by Lamens. Spurs pushing here. Good tackle by... That's not going to go, Dorgu. This was a good save by Lamens from where it is as well. Yeah, because that's a good save because although it's at him again, look at what he does. Look at where he puts. It's such a, you know, these two saves by Lamens, the reason they're so good is what he does with the ball. It's where he pushes the ball. And Onana would be pushing that back where it is, tap-ins, everything like that. It's his dexterity and his wrist movement to move it away from danger. We just haven't had that either. So the tempo's going up a little bit here. Would you bring on Sesko for Cunha? Says Kieran. I think you've got to make subs. You've got to make subs in the Premier League anyway. And he is going to do it. The whole team is asleep, just letting them build confidence from nothing but balls into the box and shots from the second ball, says Pengas. Lemens never palms it onto danger. Quality, says Marlowe. Yeah, I think he sensed the danger here because this is quite an early substitution to make. Leonard, thanks for being a member for 6 months. Casemiro too slow, but wins it back. It's a good ball by Bruno, that is, to Mbermo. Dorgu, cut back, cut back. Don't know what that was. Kieran literally said, would you bring Sesko on for Cunha? Let's see if that's what's going to happen. TA Flo says, Bruno and Cunha are losing the ball too much. Are you enjoying the match, Mark, says Gavin. I think the second half is better than the first half, but I just feel like we've got to get the next goal. Don't forget about our record of not losing when leaving at half-time, says Sam. Yeah, that's not the record. You're wrong. That's an Old Trafford record. Mazraoui off for Sesko. So Cunha stays on. Ahmad goes to right wing-back. So that's an attacking substitution. I like that. I think it's... I was going to say I'd be surprised if he took Cunha off because Cunha's one of those players that can, make things happen. Maybe Mazraoui could only play 60 minutes. Um, 8-bit says, I'm a head chef at a fine dining restaurant. I let all my staff in the kitchen take 40 minutes off to watch the rest of the game. Happy match day. Says, well, you're a good boss, 8-bit. You're a good boss. JJ says, do you think it should have been 1-0 to Spurs when Richarlison had that chance? I think he should have got his head on it. I don't know whether it was a... I'd have to see it again. I still think you might expect a goal. I mean, there's heading it and then there's putting it where it needs to go. He still had a bit of work to do. I mean, he should have headed it, but I wouldn't necessarily say it was a great chance. Aussie here, appreciate the play-by-play. Stands too expensive to only watch once a week. If I'm lucky, love you, says Lubowski. Thank you very much. Anthony's in New York, not able to see the game, watching your show. Enjoy, mate. I feel like you can see the back three has so much more confidence in Lemens than they ever had in Onana. Look, Steve, I think the two saves from Lemens probably are the difference between this week and last week. And I know Lemens was in goal last week, but you feel like last week one of those goes in and then we implode. And it's about, certainly with Onana in goal, they would have gone in. Spurs moving the ball faster, says Blondie. Well done, Lemens. Just while I've got a break in the play here, please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. We were very close to 214,000 on, well, it's up there. So please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and get involved with the United Stand. Remember, straight after this, we've got player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. And we've also got the fan forum as well. If you want to do your player ratings, by the way, you can go to United Stand Player Ratings is the website. Or you can scan the QR code next to me and get yourself signed up for that. I'll put the link, I think the link is already in the video description as well. It's free to sign up, you'll get an email, and then every week you've got your login and you do it every week then. So get involved with that. Every player out of 10, 6 is average, 7's good, 8's excellent, 9's superb, 10's perfect, 5's under average, and then put a star for your man of the match. Man of the match for me so far, contenders, De Ligt, Mbermo, Lemens, probably those three. I think Maguire and Shaw have done okay. Ahmad's done okay. Yeah. So I'd have 3 contenders and then there's another 3 that have done all right as well. You got to feel for Luke Shaw a little bit though. I think he'd have been I don't know. I didn't even get a chance to talk about this. I think Luke Shaw might have been expecting an England call-up. You know, he stayed fit since the start of the season. He's been picked for Man United. Bruno, you can't bottle that. You can't bottle that, Bruno. Offside. Brennan Johnson offside. Yes. Very lucky there. Bruno bottles the 50-50 with Porro. And, you know, that to me is why you need a midfielder. He's got to win that. You can't just go kicking in like that. He's definitely offside. I think Bruno's very lucky there, because if that had been a goal, and it's only a bad pass by Richarlison, if that had been a goal, we would have been talking about that there. Look, I don't want to talk about Roy Keane. I don't want to talk about Steven Gerrard. I don't want to talk about Michael Carrick. But if you're going to play in a midfield too, you can't go into a 50-50 like that. You can't go into a 50-50 like that. A lot of people going in on Cunha as well. Bruno and Cunha off. CJ says De Ligt currently top 5 in the world. And Burmo has stayed on the left after the sub as well, says Mishu. Ruben, take off a luxury player and tighten it up, says Reese. Bruno, a 5 all over the pitch, no discipline, says Bear Merchant. I think Dorgu's done really well, says Johnny. Just gives us more balance on that left-hand side. I mean, Dorgu's a prospect. He's not the complete article. But look, anybody who's moaning about Dorgu or Mazraoui, you need to realise the alternative is Delo. And we've had 4 weeks of that. We don't want to go back to that. So we're better off sticking with this. Played by De Ligt again. What I don't want to do is be in the last 10-15 minutes 1-0. Because they will... They'll push for it. I don't think this second half's been that different to last week, to be honest. I don't think we've really done enough in the second half, but we're holding on at the moment. I wouldn't say it's a different... Would you? Do you think it's any different to Forest last week? I think it's a very similar performance where we're just... We've not created anything. Look, maybe we can win it 1-0 and it'd be a great way to win it. But I'd like to think with 25 minutes left, we can do a little bit more. Love the stuff you do with Robbie each week. How did that come about? Just a natural conversation, Matty. I do one on his, he does it on mine. Love this. As a hospital manager, I've postponed 3 surgeries and told the A&E team to take a 30-minute break. What are you doing that for, Swishbosh? I hope you're joking. That was on Cunha as well, says Seb. Come on, lovely play. And Burmo, that's a free kick. Oh, he's on a yellow card. He's on a yellow card. Maguire's just said the ref's taking the piss. I think he is a little bit. We're a De Ligt injury away from Oblivion, says HOI4. And by far the worst game from Cunha in a United shirt, says Nathan. We just need the second goal here. I like Cunha, but he needs to make better decisions, says Mr. Scally. I think Cunha's had a tough game today. Spurs are looking sharper and we're playing a step slower, says Darryl. Bring Mount on, says Sean. I don't think he's fit. Mr. Lewis on Twitch says you can't take your foot off the gas at half time in this league. They'll get a chance. The trouble is, they're not going to not get a big chance. They've already had 2. I mean, are we really backing ourselves to get a clean sheet? It's dangerous. It's a dangerous play. Mainu can't come on for Bruno Rashford. Free agent. He's not even on the bench. I like Cunha, but he needs to make better decisions, says Scally. Thanks for your super chats, by the way. You can do that through the $sign. We'll read those out. Bruno going for red, says Trezor. Swap Bruno with Anderson and will be a huge difference, as Shane. I think when you look at United and you look at the progress, obviously progress would be winning this game and getting into second place for a little bit and being in that race for Champions League football. The next step is then sustainability, performance. It's not been a brilliant performance. I don't really have a massive problem with that because style over substance isn't necessarily a good thing. But in the longer term, you've got to look at where do we get better. And absolutely, Casemiro's coming towards the end of his career. Bruno, I just don't see him as a midfielder. I really don't. So if you could add in 2 midfielders into this team, you instantly just get better, don't you? The front 3 are still going to be decent. The back 5 and goalkeeper are still going to be decent. And then suddenly you've got 2 good midfielders. And that's the positive for me. If we can win games as we are, there shouldn't be a drop-off over the next 12 months. There should be a step up. Like, if we can get Champions League football as we are, then next season you get 2 midfielders in and, it gets even better, doesn't it? Be careful there. It's going to be a long half, this. Go on, Bruno. Just boot it, Bruno. Boot it. Got to clear that better than that. Spike says Bruno's kicking 50-50s in air in 50. Sorry, he's kicking air in 50-50s. Looks a bit lost. Well done, Ahmad. Ahmad, right wing back, of course, now as well. We've got to keep hold of the ball, haven't we? Well done, Dorgu. Could be a long 20 minutes if we don't get a goal. Sesko. Silence your critics, Sesko. Camera just went to Maguire there, I don't know. My son, Cruz Ferguson, and I watching from Brisbane. Love you, Mark, and what you do for the community and everyone's mental health. Thank you worldwide. Thank you, Carl. Shout out to Cruz as well. Hope you're enjoying it. Maguire's finished here. Yeah. Go on, Bruno. Oh, God. That's where Bruno's good. Don't want to lose Maguire for the last 20 minutes. It's a lovely... I mean, Ahmad's ball there is brilliant. Bruno in the number 10 position. That's where he's dangerous. Breaking from midfield as a number 10. Just didn't get his foot around it. Still think we miss Martinez to be middle centre-back. To push DM. Allows midfield pivot to play. Allows for a stronger midfield and stronger transitions, says Connor. 35% possession, last 10 is not sustainable. We're like Bournemouth last season. Good in transition, but never able to control a game, says Marlow. How can he not see that Richarlison is bullying Shaw and Maguire, says Pengers. And Lazy says, it's great seeing Lamens do what a good goalkeeper is supposed to do. He's doing the basics correct. Yeah, we spoke about this, Lazy, as well. Like, I know it got to a ridiculous point with Anana, where literally there was a song, Pratt Man. But there was a seriousness to that. Like, it wasn't just about ridiculing a Man United player, because no one really wants to do that. It was about the fact that he was a bad goalkeeper. He couldn't get down low. Treble substitution here for United. He couldn't get down low. He'd always palm it back into danger. He wasn't very good on crosses. Lamens is good on crosses. He palms it away from danger. And he can get down for shots. And, it's a step up. Substitutions, getting a lot of credit. But Bruno will stay on. Bruno's been so bad once again. -1 out of 10 as a midfielder. He's unwatchable, says JDV. Bruno needs to come off. I've never seen a player giving the ball so much in 20 minutes, says Stig. Thank you very much for your super chats. Connor was saying Martinez allows that pivot to play, or allows for a stronger midfielder and stronger transition. Yeah, the substitutes, I definitely saw Mount. I saw Casemiro and Maguire go off. Bruno is still on. Mount for Cunha, I think. I mean, he's never going to take Bruno off, is he? But Agate, hopefully he can have a good cameo here for 20 minutes. De Ligt goes back to centre-back. I mean, these are good subs. I mean, the Maguire one's a little bit of a concern because you don't want to... You would never take Maguire off because of his height, so it's injury-based. But on paper, they're the right subs to make. Sesko, 3-1-1. Vicario will get there. And Burmo flicking it onto Sesko there. And an offside anyway. We're doing to Spurs what they did to us in the final, says Matthew. Mount, says Slow Sports News. Good subs, says Louise O'Donoghue. They're the right subs. I just want us to get the second goal. Like, it's been all them. Edge of the box. Ooh, Bruno nearly getting onto it. Be throwing to us. $17. So it's about 20 minutes to go. Sesko holds it up and he's committed a foul on Romero. Hopefully these subs just give us a little bit more of an attacking impetus because it was a bit overwhelming for us for that last 20 minutes. Mark, is Sesko the regen about Weghorst as default 66? I don't like this Sesko criticism. I mean, he's a young player. He will get better. Loads of room for Dorgu down the left-hand side. And that is a free kick and surely a yellow card for Polinia. Spurs always start very well, giving their fans hope, but then they crush their hopes and turn back into Spurs after week 5, says Jack. Look, I think at the end of the day, when we did the preview the other night, Spurs were 4th from bottom for home form, but top of the league away. Here we are at Spurs. Ahmad's been outstanding, says the Snail. I think Ahmad, De Ligt, and Burmo, Lemens would be the contenders for man of the match. Yeah. We're doing... thank you very much. Anyway, good point. Louis Margot, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. Appreciate that. I tell you what, I'll be absolutely disgusted if we don't win this game. We can't have another Forest. Do you reckon we need a better midfield? We lose control. Callow, I mean, the midfield hasn't played well today. This is not, to me, this is not about performance. This is not about performance. This is about 3 points. This is not the sort of game where in the match reaction everyone's going to be going vintage Man United. I think we're going to be going 4 or 5 good individual performances, but a lot of wastage. You can't say a better team would have beat us because you play the occasion. And, you know, if we were playing Man City, we wouldn't continue to play like this, would we? We'd hopefully raise our game. But you can only play the game in front of you. But I don't think we've played particularly well. There might be people out there that say Spurs are good for a point. I disagree. They haven't put the ball in the back of the net. But, yeah, there's been areas of our game that haven't been particularly good. But defensively, strong. Defensively strong. Lemens has been good. De Ligt's been good. Luke Shaw's been good. Maguire was good. Dorgu's been good. Ahmad's been good. I was at Spurs Stadium in May 24th for Leinster versus Toulouse. Excellent stadium. Not a great result, says Connor. Well, it is if it's United. Sesko will bag the second in some minutes. Watchalong, says Thomas. Well, we're edging, not in that way. We're edging towards what I didn't want, which was last 10 minutes, 1-0. Because I just think we'll naturally go deeper. Go on, Sesko. Hit it first time. I should have hit that first time. Mount's played a lovely ball into him there. I thought he had a good left foot, Sesko. I think that was hittable first time. Back yourself. I'd have hit that. I'm right-footed, but I've got a bit of a left foot. I'd have hit that. It was a lovely, lovely break. Lovely ball by Mount. And I think he's got to hit that. Good play. Simmons is going to lose that though. Hold on to it too long. Go on, Ahmad. Run it. Winning on a poor night is vintage United to Slazy. Oh, 100%. 100%. Dorgu was a little bit late there. I think he's got a yellow. Yeah. That's the prospect in him though, isn't it? That's just, you know, you expect that. I mean, he got that. Remember that red card he got last year on that wet night at Old Trafford. I think Simmons has been took off there because he's failed for the last time. You failed me for the last time, says Frank. 12 minutes to go. Who's getting a bit of a squeaky bum here? Icon, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. Yeah, I'm starting to get a bit squeaky bum time here because we desperately need these 3 points. Look at where we are in the league, but if that becomes 18 points, so disappointing. Porro. Good play, Mount. Well done. Sesko reminds me of Xerxes in his first few games. Too slow, but hopefully he'll get used to the tempo. Ahmad, man of the match. That was from Marlow, by the way. IQ says, Ahmad, man of the match. Show him some love. We're going to make another sub here. Dorgu for Delo. Well, it's that balance, isn't it? Dorgu on a yellow card or Delo at left wing back. It's a tough choice. It's a tough choice. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Have you watched Celebrity Traitors? I've never watched an episode of Traitors in my life. Get rid of that sun. That's a good ball. That's a good ball for Ahmad to intercept. Come on. I'll tell you what's disappointed me is that we haven't had a chance in the second half where you'd go, ooh, that should have been 2-0. And hopefully that won't make a difference, but yeah, good pass, good first pass by Delo, straight to a white shirt. All you do if you're Spurs now is go, let's go down the right-hand side. Delo will cost us, as Marlow. Hopefully not. But yeah, I just think, I think if we can get through this, it's all positive. But if we don't, nothing again. Not good enough again in the second half. Just get the second goal. Blondie says, Lemen's doing what a goalkeeper does amazes me. Penga says Dorgu doesn't have it. I don't see anything other than athleticism. I think he's had a good game. Well in Yoro. Breaks on. Ahmad. Oh, just bounced over him. United title race or Spurs in crisis? Which one? I haven't even thought about a title yet, actually. Good point. I would have completely forgotten about the match reaction. Family group chat told Amrim Delo must play, says Island Boy. Ruben Amorim's son is coming on, says Grimlock. Here's Delo on his left foot. Can't do anything with that, so he'll have to come onto his right. Into Mbermo. Amorim pre-match said Bruno will have to get used to being rotated. I don't know if he fits at Cam in this system, so in and out at CM, says Jose. Yeah, I do need to have a think about match reaction here. I don't want to. Sometimes I leave the match reaction very late to setting it up because I'm like, I don't want to. I feel like if I predict it, you are jinxing it. Although Spurs haven't really. I mean, it's the last 10 minutes now. They're gonna make changes, aren't they? They're gonna start pushing. They've got to start pushing. Would you call it title contenders? Cunha not looking very happy there. You're going to have games like that. I mean, Cunha was probably a 5 out of 10 today. I think Bruno probably has been as well. Oh, he's gone past Agate too easy there. We've got to be a little bit careful here. Goal. Fucking hell. Get out, get out, get out. Absolutely knew it. Breakdown in the midfield again. More holes than a bloody pot. Bloody crumpet. Bruno's bloody throwing his hands around like an octopus again. That is the problem. This is just so bloody frustrating. Second half's been crap again. It's been crap. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I agree with Marlowe. Second half has been crap. Defence has been holding on. Lamens has made 2 big saves. You just crap. Absolutely crap. Agate got done in the midfield. We just haven't created anything in the second half. Literally said it 2 minutes ago. We've created nothing in the second half. You can't be... What do we do at half time? Have a pint of laxatives? Because we seem to shit ourselves. We get in a good position at half time. And then second half we create nothing. Nothing. You're not going to get clean sheets. You're not going to do it. I hadn't wrote, no, I'm not taking responsibility. I actually hadn't wrote out the... I'm fed up of this. I'm so fed up of this. It's like bloody deja vu. Here we go. Mount. Reverse pass. Sesko. What a tackle by Van der Ven. I think he's got to be aware of that. Got to be aware of that. Oh, I'm just so fed up of being in this situation. It's so bloody annoying. Look, it's nothing to do with Delo. I've seen people saying, you know, I think Sesko's injured as well. Fucking hell. Football has a horrible way of biting you on the arse, doesn't it? Fucking hell. That close. Look at the league table now. We were second and now we're bloody 7th. These fine margins, we've got to learn. We've got to learn. Fucking hell. Don't forget to do your player ratings. Mark every player out of 10. I think not taking Bruno off is cost us. What's the What's the pass accuracy shit, passing shit. I finally see some happiness and excitement from United and football again. From Nesta, that was a probably before the equaliser. Once is okay. Twice, I'm sorry. I'm. You know what? I know. I said at the start of the game, a draw is not a bad result, but the circumstances of these two draws. Better teams are going to kill us off. Let's be real. That's my assessment. Sesko's injured as well. I mean, this gets better. What did I say? Who's going to play up front? We know Sesko. If he's out for a month, who plays up front? And this is how quickly things can go wrong. Midfield. The midfield has been shite today. Everybody who was saying Bruno's a 5 out of 10, absolutely true. And you can't compete at this level. Agate did shit on that goal as well. But they've created chances. The thing is, if we'd have won this game 1-0, we'd have all gone, it's great when you win badly. Oh yeah, but are we the second best team in the Premier League? Are we really the second best team in the Premier League? We've had a couple of good results. Anfield was good, but Gakpo missed 3 good chances, you know. Brighton, good game. Well done. Sheffield United, good game. Well done. Sunderland, not Sheffield United, Sunderland, good game. But we've not played well here. We've had 1 good chance and we've took it. And I'm sorry, there will be people saying it's not a bad result, it's 5 games unbeaten. But they've nearly scored again there from another cross. We're now down to 10 men, says Daryl. How long's left? 10 men for the rest of the match, says Slazy. Our captain being the worst player on the pitch game after game. We all know this can't last and it will cost Amrim the job, says Marlowe. Bruno's bottled so many tackles, says Untouchable, says Barn. Somebody said you did go for a draw and Robbie went for a win. Oh, yeah, I'm really pleased about that. Controversial opinion, we should have kept Rasmus, says Toby. At least you got a point over Robbie. Yep, that's what Uni, it was you, wasn't it? Bruno striker, says Lewis. Our captain being the worst player, says Marlowe. Bruno's bottled so many tackles, but he's untouchable, says Barn. Agate is pants. How can you let my man just run past you like that, says Barney. The whole midfield's a joke, mate. The whole midfield's a joke. I mean, I don't even say good play by De Ligt. Some people tried to blame De Ligt for the goal. I don't think there's much he can do. It's a good ball. He turns and he actually nearly gets a block on it. It actually deflects past Lemens. So I don't blame De Ligt for that. I mean, you literally can't stop people getting the ball into feet. 6 minutes added on. I want to win games, but not sure specific favoured players get their playing game time, says Nathwitty. What is Hallis Sesko doing, says Abdul. Can't even keep a clean sheet, says D1. They've got a corner here. Oh, no! No! No, 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 no! I can't believe it! What the bloody hell? What's going on there? Why are we losing to Spurs? Why are we losing to bloody Spurs? Idiots! Idiots! Absolute idiots! I can't believe it! No bloody midfield again. That's what this is all about. He's crying. Richarlison's crying. We're not that good. What are you crying for? You've just won 3 points. Bloody running around like you've won the Champions League. Oh, not him. Not him. God, get out. Just the thing is, you can't not believe it. Can you believe it? Yes, I can believe it. Look at this. Edge of the box. Oh, he's got to be offside. He's got to be offside. Oh, Agate's playing him on. Fucking hell. Agate's playing him on. Load of shit. Too many changes today. I'm afraid that's on the manager. I'm sorry. Fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I can't explain how shit you've got to be to lose to Spurs. And Spurs at home. And Spurs fans would agree with this. Absolute ridiculous. It's the hope that kills you. We have been shit second half as well. I am not holding back on the match reaction. We have been absolute shit second half. What's the excuse as well? What's the excuse? Marlowe's a bloody genius on the Super Chats tonight as well. Even throughout the game, he's been saying passing accuracy shit. This is shit. We're not good at this. We're not good at that. Tem says, lads, it's Man United. Cue the Amorim out, says Oliver. Yeah, but Oliver, look, Amorim out. No, Amorim doubt. Some of us do doubt him at times. Too many bottle jobs in the team, says Joe. We're consistently bad, says Marlowe. Reality check time, says Andrew. Manager of the Month award. There you go, LT. Factory settings FC, says Peter. You're defending 1-goal lead. Who do you take off for Agate, Bruno or Casemiro? That substitution right there. Clip this, right? Taking Casemiro off for Agate and keeping Bruno on at 1-0 when we're not playing well is fucking stupid. Stupid. Please get that viral because it's stupid. We're playing shit. We're not creating anything. He is bottling 50-50s. So you take Casemiro off to bring Agate on and you keep him on. Defensively, he's been shit. Offensively, he's been shit. But we keep him on. That substitution is criminal. Absolutely criminal. And I'm not saying Casemiro's good, but we're not creating anything. So make sure you solidify the defence. Also, we're playing with 10 men. 6 minutes with 10 men could easily turn into a loss as it's CJR. Well, I'm sorry, pal, it already has. Oh, get your player ratings in. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. But this last 20 minutes, I'm tired. I'm tired, Robbie. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. But, you know, we get all this chat all week about mentality and everyone's enjoying themselves. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. I'm taking notes for the match reaction. Nothing has changed at all. Goal! Delete! It has changed! 2-2! Oh, yes! Shut up! Doubters, outers, get out! Delete at the end. 2-2. It's Forest all over again. Oh my God! Oh, delete! Man of the match! Give him a bloody statue! 2-2! Oh God! Football A! Football A! Get in! Right on the back post! I'll take that! We'll take that! We will take that! Now give him some bloody credit! Somebody said it's offside. He can't be offside from a bloody corner. Offside, my arse. Shut up, offside. Oh, get in. No, I still... Look, honestly. I honestly do not care. I always want Man United to win, draw. I don't care how we do it. But Amorim's fucking lucky. I mean, the point's not good enough anyway. We should have won this game. I'm not celebrating. I'll tell you what. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not a flip-flop. He can come out and say what he fucking likes after the game. He's an idiot. He's a fucking idiot today. He's made so many bad choices and he's very, very, very lucky to get a point out of this game. No, I'm not, you know, I'll celebrate the fact that Man United don't lose because that's good for me and good for my health. But I'm not going to celebrate the fact that, you know, we should have won. Should have won the game. I'm not changing the title either. Amorim cost us. I think he cost us. I think he did cost us the result. Look, obviously, great goal by De Ligt at the end. But I just think he is going to fuck up continually with this whole, oh, we're a better team, we've got a better mentality. That second half was shit. We've just watched it all. We've scored from a set piece because Spurs are Spurs. We could still win it. Final whistle, 2-2. Well, you take the point. What does the league table look like? Well, it'll look a little bit better than it could have done. But I'm telling you now, we've made hard work out of a point at Spurs. Very, very hard work. And you've got to take the positives from that. 2-2. I mean, look, we're 7th in the league. Spurs go up to 3rd. Blah, blah, you know. But I do feel... Well, look, we're 5 games unbeaten. Take the positives. But I tell you what, he's irritated me today. He's walking around like Mr. It. You fucking made hard work of that. You're very lucky. You're very lucky. The only chance we created in that game was De Ligt in the second half, was De Ligt. So look, I just think... I think we've got to start turning these... We've got to start turning these games into wins. It's admirable that they're not losses, but we've got to start turning... 2 shots on target and they're both goals. 45% possession. Like, it's not a good performance, that. It's a good result, but it's not a good performance. What's the fucking excuse? I'm really pleased with the point, but I'm not going to change my opinion on it. I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with that second half. Bottling it, not coming out for the second half, not creating anything. Bruno playing another fucking 90 minutes. A shit show in the midfield. The subs were crap. He's got to do better. He's got to do better. Spurs were... I don't know how Spurs scored 2 goals, actually. I don't. Anyway, I'm doing the match reaction here. We got the point. Let's go over to the match reaction, do the player rating. Surely De Ligt's man of the match. Surely he's man of the match. I'll see you over there in a minute. Big up everyone on Twitch as